Did you know that most marine animals can drink salt water from the oceans without any problems? While for us, it could be deadly. Salt water is abundant on our planet, but it is not suitable for human consumption. So how do marine animals survive by drinking what we can't? Stay with me, because the answer is astonishing and reveals a lot about the incredible adaptations of marine life. Let's start by understanding why salt water is so dangerous for us humans. Seawater contains about 3.5% salt, mainly in the form of sodium chloride. When we drink salt water, the salt in the water starts to dissolve in our blood, increasing the concentration of salt in our body. Our body tries to maintain a balance between water and salt. And when we consume too much salt, our kidneys have to work hard to eliminate it. The problem is that to excrete salt, our kidneys need water. They use more water to eliminate the salt than we get from drinking salt water. This leads to dehydration, as our body loses more water than it absorbs. If we drink too much salt water, it can lead to serious problems like kidney failure, even death. Unlike humans, marine animals have developed incredible adaptations to be able to consume salt water without suffering its harmful effects. These adaptations are the result of millions of years of evolution and vary from one species to another. Take the example of marine fish. They have specially adapted kidneys to excrete salt in large quantities. In addition to that, their gills play a crucial role. Specialized cells in their gills, called ion cells or chloride cells, actively work to expel excess salt from their bodies. This allows them to maintain a fluid balance even while living in a salty environment. Seabirds, like gulls and albatrosses, have another fascinating adaptation. They have salt glands located near their eyes that filter salt from their blood. These glands are so efficient that they can excrete a saline solution more concentrated than seawater. The birds then excrete this excess salt through their nostrils or beak, often in the form of salty droplets. Marine mammals, such as dolphins, seals and whales, also face the challenge of living in a salty environment. But instead of drinking seawater directly, most of them get the water they need primarily from the food they eat, such as fish and squid, which contain fresh water in their tissues. This does not mean that they never drink seawater. When necessary, their kidneys, much more efficient than those of humans, can process salt water and eliminate excess salt. Their kidneys are able to produce very concentrated urine, which allows them to get rid of large amounts of salt while conserving as much water as possible. These adaptations allow them to survive in an environment where most other mammals, including us, could not. Marine mammals have thus developed a complex set of strategies to manage their salt intake, combining efficient kidneys, specific eating habits, and an adapted physiology. At this point, you may be wondering why humans haven't developed such adaptations to consume salt water. The answer is related to our environment of origin and our evolution. The ancestors of humans lived in terrestrial environments where fresh water was widely available. Therefore, there was no evolutionary pressure to develop adaptations to consume salt water. In addition, the adaptations needed to survive by drinking salt water would require major physiological changes, such as kidneys, capable of producing extremely concentrated urine, or salt glands like those of seabirds. Since our ancestors had access to fresh water, these adaptations were never necessary for our survival. Let me tell you a fascinating story that illustrates the difference between the abilities of marine animals and those of humans when it comes to salt water. In 1942, a Chinese sailor named Poon Lim survived 133 days at sea after his ship was torpedoed. Alone on a raft, he had to face the elements, hunger, and above all, thirst. Running out of drinking water, Poon Lim had to fight the desperate urge to drink the salt water that surrounded him. Knowing the dangers of seawater, he resisted the temptation, knowing that it could kill him. He survived by catching rainwater and drinking the blood of the birds and fish he caught, using desperate means to obtain the fresh water necessary for his survival. Meanwhile, all around him, marine life continued to thrive by drinking the same seawater that could have killed him. This story highlights not only human resilience, but also the formidable adaptation of marine creatures to an environment that we humans find inhospitable. Poon Lim was eventually rescued, becoming a symbol of survival and a poignant reminder of the difference between our biology and that of the inhabitants of the sea. Marine animals show us how life can adapt to the most extreme environments. Their abilities to consume salt water and thrive in the oceans illustrate the diversity of survival strategies developed over millions of years of evolution. On the other hand, Humans, limited by their physiology, depend on fresh water to survive. So the next time you see a dolphin or a seabird, think about these incredible adaptations that allow them to live in a world we could never inhabit. And remember that fresh water, although rarer on Earth, is the key to our survival. What did you think of this exploration of marine animal adaptations to saltwater? Has it changed your view of the oceans and marine life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to know if you were surprised. And don't forget to subscribe to discover other wonders of the world around us.